Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Daily Canon Tactics Board. Stephen Bradley here, bringing you the tactical tweaks and quirks that came from a hard-fought but successful 1-0 win at Turf Moor against Burnley yesterday afternoon. Another clean sheet, another win, but more importantly maybe the first proper 90-minute look, well, 65-minute look anyway. We had it, maybe the future of Arsenal, how we're actually going to play, and how Martin Odegaard was absolutely crucial to the way it worked. At least in most parts. We can blame, some sloppy passing at the end. We can blame, Burnley growing the grass to be about that long, etc., etc. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into last week's video. 2.9 thousand views, 200 new subs. The support's been incredible. So thank you all. Tons of people start getting into the comments now, all engaged. Most of you telling me that Tomiyasu is right-footed. I thought he was left-footed. Even going to some websites and he says he's both-footed. A bit like Cazorla. So hands up, my bad. I'll take the L on that one. But yeah, like I said, tons of people now getting involved, discussing topics, discussing comments, and keeping it good and respectful. So thanks to a lot of you. We only have one rule around here: don't say anything you wouldn't say to anyone's face. And yeah, like I said, if this keeps going, then happy days. And if this is the kind of video that you are going to enjoy, please leave a like on it. Every little helps. Every little support can, help build the channel. If you do want this content in your inbox on a regular basis, hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified, hit the little bell at the end of it. And yeah, the game. And we've been so used to seeing Arsenal line up 4-2-3-1 and then it adapting. But this is the first time Arsenal actually set up like this, which I call the City way, because this is how Manchester City have lined up pretty much since Pep Guardiola got to Manchester City. A central defensive midfielder, 2 8/10s who are, attacking minded but can do a little bit of work, inverted winger, centre forward who's required to do everything, and with fullbacks who are designed to do more than one thing, and 2 centre backs who are a little bit of everything, half decent in the air, good on the ball. And this is the first time that Mikel Arteta has had 3 centre midfielders that he can trust to do the job that he wants them to do. And it starts with Partey. The reason why I don't think Granit Xhaka has a future at Arsenal Football Club, despite being given a new contract to protect his value, is there's no place for someone of Granit Xhaka's skill set in this formation here. There's nowhere for him to play. He can't play here. And you might think, but Stephen, he's a deep line defensive playmaker. This is perfect for him. Against Burnley yesterday, the reason why you cannot have someone as one-footed as Xhaka was clear, because every time Arsenal got the ball at the back, and Aaron Ramsdale had a good game, he was reminiscent of a bit like Wojciech Szczesny, where he's loud, he's vocal, he goes for every ball, and fans like that. Fans enjoy a commanding goalkeeper. They like a lad who goes and gets everything. And a quieter goalkeeper like Petr Cech, like Bert Leno, who do things a little bit more subtly, and they just get rid of the ball, and they don't make the histrionics of going to grab the ball at the top of its apex and then fall down on it and says, I got the ball. Like continental goalkeepers, etc. Like British fans and people followers of English football like a goalkeeper who just goes and gets the ball and tells everyone to go get lost. So Ramsdale did that yesterday at a place where Arsenal fans knew that they would be bombarded by long balls. So to see him pass yesterday's test, for the most part, was encouraging. Frankly, I think like many others had quite a low bar set for him, considering he wasn't very good at Sheffield United and he wasn't very good at Bournemouth. So it's one of those situations where if he is this commanding and this confidence inspiring on a regular basis, then yes, Arsenal have found their goalkeeper in the future. Only time will tell. But any time Arsenal got the ball, and if you're a regular viewer of the content that we produce here, then you'll know that Arsenal like to go into the old 3-2-5, which is this. We get Pepe there, Partey here, and then Gabriel scoots over, White goes here, and then Tomiyasu goes there. And it gets you your 3-2-5. And the idea was to get the ball to either one of the two centre mids, and then they break, and then you go there and you get it into the 5 and on you go. Yesterday was different, and in a small way, but this is why I think Martin Odegaard is key to how Arsenal are going to build in the future, because he did something yesterday that I hoped he might be able to do. If you saw last week's video, you will have seen me hoping that Martin Odegaard, who is he? But Martin Odegaard could turn into some version of Luka Modric. And yesterday, that's exactly what he did. He was everywhere. And because he was everywhere, Partey was able to just sit back and do his thing. And just be this little pivot by himself and get the ball. So when Arsenal were kicking the ball out, Saka would come here. Tierney would bomb on, like he always does. Gabriel would scoot, White would scoot, and Tomiyasu would scoot. But now, Smith Rowe would still go here. And Aubameyang would come back. But now, instead of Partey being, Part being here, now Partey is here. And it's a little bit subtle, but what it means is that Tomiyasu can now go here because White can go here, and now Partey's the third man, and now Tomiyasu can go here. And the whole point of this, the absolute whole point of this, is that when Burnley press in their Mike Bassett 4-4-2, when they press, the whole point of this is to do one thing. To get the ball to Partey. And Ramsdale, when he saw this shape, he would just pass it straight. Even if Partey had one or even two men on him, he would just give the ball to Partey. And now it's up to players to find space and look for the ball. And you're looking at this going, well, it's 5 and 6. This is why Odegaard's so key, because Odegaard can bring Westwood out. And now it's Partey. Now you're trusting Partey basically to be able to beat Brownhill one-on-one. And Xhaka cannot do this because Xhaka is so left-footed and so left-sided that when Ramsdale passes the ball, Xhaka will always have the ball on this side of him. So as a result, Brownhill can always be there. But with Partey, yes, he's right-footed, but he's still comfortable enough on his left side to be able to do that as well. So now Brownhill has to be central, which means Partey can now just basically turn him whichever side he wants and gone. And now it's 5-on-4 because Westwood cannot leave Odegaard free. And this is the key. And Xhaka also now can't play the Odegaard role because of one simple heat map. Look at all that running. Even if let's see, I'll zoom in for you. There's even like a fair line there that means that he's almost in a circle. Like Martin Odegaard is running his backside off all game to be in position to receive the ball. Now, he's there. There's a little bit of a heat map there because Arsenal changed formation in the 60th minute, and we'll get to that later. But as you can see, he's comfortable getting the ball deep. He's comfortable getting the ball right. He's comfortable getting the ball here. That means that Westwood and Goodmanson can't be responsible for Odegaard because sometimes Odegaard could be here. And now you're relying on Smith Rowe and Saka to come deep, to basically be extra players, to make a bit of space, to draw out, to get Goodmanson out of here so Saka will go left. Now Odegaard can be the focal point. If Goodmanson leaves Saka, Odegaard can come here, and now Saka can basically play centre mid or even centre attacking mid. Smith Rowe then just basically wanders around and gets in space. And even for the whole of the first half, Saka and Smith Rowe particularly weren't really involved in the play because it's the first time they played this formation, really. Like, they're so used to playing in this 5, but they're not used to having another lad join in. they're so used to being dropping deep and then hoping that Aubameyang makes a run. But now they're almost asked to make runs as well. And now you get the whole point of Odegaard coming in, because now it's 5 attackers. And even if the wingers come forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's 8 on 6. And you've got another man playing the ball in. And it's just that extra one player, it's that extra, set of feet and set of eyes that completely changes the way Arsenal attack. Because now, who do you mark? Even if Westwood and Brownhill get in here, Partey can now join the attack. Ben White can sit in, and even Tomiyasu, if he wanted, can saunter up the field as well. And it's 2 on 2, and now if you're the defence, now you've got to pick a choice. Do you turtle up like what Southampton did yesterday against Manchester City and just let Arsenal have the ball here and just run at you again and again and again? Or do you push out? Because by sitting back is exactly what led Saka to beating Westwood with the ball and getting a free kick here. And we saw what happened with the free kick. So that's not really a plan if you've got players like Saka and Smith Rowe who can beat a player off the dribble and then drive at the attack. So what you're now asking teams to do is, well, we can't sit back, so we'll push out a bit. We'll try and compress the play. And now you've got the threat of Odegaard, Partey, and even Ben White and Gabriel now have long ball after long ball after long ball on. This is the whole point of having a second central midfielder who is both good at dribbling with the ball and good off the ball and good passing the ball. Because you can't cover all three. You can't defend against everything. It's just impossible. There's just too many players and too many options available to you. And what happened again and again and again is that Burnley just got caught in between. They would, the midfielders would all push up. Partey would beat the press. He'd get in, and now Burnley have to get back because now it's 6 on 4. Like time and again, Arsenal were able to get create situations where they were overlapping and overnumbering the defense. It was just a case of passes being a little bit off, maybe a little bit under hit. Again, the grass, it sounds stupid, but the grass was pretty much every away ground, apart from the big teams, they grow the grass long for Arsenal because they know how much Arsenal want to pass the ball. Like it goes back, that's a trick that goes back 20 years. Like Arsene Wenger's been giving out about it pretty much since day one when he was an Arsenal manager. And like I said, without the mobility of Odegaard and his preference to get up here too and get back, Xhaka would always want to stay here, which means Partey is the one that gets forward a bit more. But because there's another body here, it just takes one less thing. It means there's one less thing to worry about if you're the defence. And as a result, because Odegaard is now a dual threat, he's now able to defend and attack. Who marks him? Who covers him? And it's just another little element to Arsenal's attack, which hopefully over the long run, once clever off-ball runners like Saka and Smith Rowe start to figure out exactly where Odegaard wants to pass it, and Aubameyang will, there was one instance where Saka is here and Aubameyang runs towards Ben Mee just to make Tarkowski go this way, and then Saka's screaming for the ball, screaming for it there, Saka, to get it in here and to go over the top, either through there, and then he looks around, Odegaard has a think about it, and then Saka goes, right, okay, he's not going to pass it, and then Odegaard, oh right, now I'll pass it, and it's the timing is off, and as a result the ball goes to the goalkeeper, and the commentators going, oh well, they're on the wrong page. They are, but this is something that will come with time, and it's why City are so devastating at times, as I've shown in previous videos against here, because you don't know where these 5 are going to pop up. Now, if Saka is here and this is Martinelli, better again, because Pepe, as good as he is getting into the box and creating, the amount of time, like when the balls were coming into him slow anyway, but he always leaves the ball behind him so he can drag it forward across his body and beat the defender. And again, it just takes up time. For this to work for Arsenal, it needs to be quick, it needs to be instant. And that'll only come with time. And it's going to be interesting to see how teams react now, because that's a damn good front six. And with Tomiyasu showing in his initial stages at Arsenal that he's good enough to be relied on to mark 1-on-1 here when he's cut higher up the pitch, and that he's able to put his head in when asked to. It's not, he's a good right back so far. Tierney, again, has been he came off with cramp after 75 minutes. I don't blame him when you're asking him to do all of this running. People are saying he's a little bit fragile. Oh, look, he's a marathon runner. So hopefully, in the near future, I know Granit Xhaka will be back after the next game, after the Wimbledon game. It'll be interesting to see if he gets straight back into the side. Frankly, I hope not, because I think this system needs playing, and whether that means playing even Sambi Lokonga here, or even Lokonga here as the DM and Partey as an advanced as another box to box, like there's options here now. Arsenal have a lot of players that can play these positions better than the 4-2-3-1, but when asked to play the 4-2-3-1, they're not too bad at it now because they're used to it. And this is key when you're presented with a rudimentary 110-year-old tactic like Burnley possessed, which is find the two biggest lads you can find, hope that they're good enough with the ball, and get them the ball at the earliest opportunity, and let them work it out from there. Because Ben Mee, as soon as he got the ball here, his job was to do one thing only, and that's to get his lob wedge out and ping the ball straight down the throat of the Arsenal centre-backs. And they did okay. They did reasonably okay. Like I said, when Arsenal pushed up like this, and it was left 2-on-2, immediately, Charlie Taylor, Ben Mee, didn't matter. Their first thought was, bang, straight into Wood's head, or bang, straight, literally aim the ball here, and hope. Again, it's nothing too fancy, it's nothing too complicated. It works. Nothing wrong with it. It works. And Gabriel and White did okay. Yes, White was a little bit lacking confidence, especially with his passing, but he made multiple headed clearances. Chris Wood had one half chance and that was it. Ashley Barnes had one half chance and that was it. Arsenal did good enough against a test where Arsenal knew that they were going to be susceptible. And, Tomiyasu with, Barnes' half chance, Tomiyasu and Gabriel both got over just in time. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Unless you're absolutely perfect in every regard, you're going to give away at least one chance or two, and both of them got over. So, the defence played well against a tactic which everyone knew they were susceptible to. What was interesting, though, was what Burnley did after 55 minutes to try and change the game, because Gabriel was getting the better of Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood was doing nothing. So, what they did was, Barnes, who had run out of steam by this point, came off, and they brought on Maxwell Cornet from Lyon for his first game, and then also brought on Vidra for Goodmunson. And in essence, what they tried to do was just mix it up a bit. Basically, play Wood as a 9, and then Vidra and Cornet basically given a free role to do what he wanted. McNeil kind of the same. And it's like, okay, you get in these spaces here. If Partey goes here, you get in here and you try and get one-on-one. Just basically find these spaces here, or, and then if the ball gets to Wood, then Vidra can run off him. And for 5 minutes it was working, because Partey had, very little help. And he's trying to cover all this space here, which is which is hard, which is why you don't find many people that can play as well as Fernandinho. And Cornet was not getting the better of him, but because Partey was so preoccupied with other runners, Cornet was able to beat one player, usually Pepe, and kick on. And they created one half decent chance. Cornet gets plays a little bit of interplay with Wood, gets the ball back, smashes at Ramsdale. It's a corner, and suddenly you're like, okay, well, what's Arteta going to do here? And he was given a little bit of a break, but Smith Rowe had picked up a little bit of a knock. And he brings on Sambi Lokonga as both fresh legs and as a change in tactic, because he goes, okay, well, you're not getting that space anymore. And he didn't. Suddenly, Arsenal were like, okay, they're going to play like this. They're going to try and, crowd the centre. We're just going to make sure the ball gets to these two players at all time. Tierney's going to step back. Tomiyasu's here. And we're going to make these lads run. We're just going to pass the ball in here all game. And then as soon as we can get half decent chance to break, we will. And that's exactly what happened. Even when Partey went off 15 minutes later for Maitland-Niles. Just the fresh legs and even a slightly bigger frame of Maitland-Niles. Like, they weren't getting bullied off the ball by Brownhill Westwood. They were getting the ball, being nice and comfortable, and making sure that they were always in space to receive the ball. And they were more than happy to switch sides. So Brown, these two were trying to cover here. And suddenly, these are free now again. And even Tierney going off for Tavares. With Westwood and Brownhill running out of steam, Maitland-Niles and Lokonga would often go here, Dwight McNeil, and then Tavares would just get the ball and just bomb past him and on he goes. There's one point where Tavares ended up here, and he had both Aubameyang and Saka making forward runs, and he's like, oh, I'll just have a shot. But just seeing Arsenal being able to change formation to react to what Burnley were trying to do. Again, what Burnley were trying to do wasn't particularly fancy or complicated, but Arsenal suddenly found themselves in a position where it's like, no, we can close out the game. And if it wasn't for one or two slightly misplaced passes up front, Arsenal had 3 or 4 glorious counterattacks where they could have finished off the game. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Mikel Arteta takes from this, because for me, if this was an audition to see how well Martin Odegaard plays as an 8, flying colours, he passed it. What's going to be interesting now is the next home game, Tottenham, and to see if he sticks with it. Because Tottenham right now are awful. They're playing horrible football. They're getting the result here or there, but they're not very good right now. And the safe thing to do would be to bring Xhaka back in. For me, for the future, you play Odegaard and Smith Rowe there as much as you can, because that's the future of the football club. That's the way Arsenal need to play if they're going to have any chance of closing the gap between themselves and the clubs ahead of them who they want to finish ahead of to get Champions League football again. If you did see anything in this video that you picked up on and that maybe I've called wrong, feel free to leave a comment in the description. Again, we've got a burgeoning community of fans who love talking tactics and who love discussing the game, and like I said, people starting to reply to each other. It's fantastic, top work quality. If you do like these videos, leave a like, and if you want these videos in your inbox on a regular basis, feel free to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and you'll be notified when they come in. And yeah, League Cup on Wednesday, we'll see changes, and we'll see what happens from there. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.